And they said, "Oh yeah, and what's the name of the band?" And we hadn't got one, you know. But on the floor was a Muddy Waters album, you know. And the first track is Rolling Stone Blues. The Rolling Stones.
Congratulations on the album. I really love the idea of a new album as a whole piece of art and concept. And it sounds like a very powerful Rolling Stones album as well, but it took a while.
Yes.
Mick joked yesterday that you were lazy, but I mean, you were touring, recorded some songs. I remember living in a ghost town on the lockdown.
Yes, we've thrown out a couple of tracks, but the blues record being the last album, I think that, you know, sometimes the time feels right. Last year we just finished a tour in Europe, and Mick said, let's try this blitzkrieg one. Say we're going to start, and we're going to finish, and make a record, and if it doesn't work, well, it doesn't work, you know. But as it happened, it worked.
Yeah.
You know.
You mentioned time, but as well as the energy must be right.
Yeah, I like to, you know, the band when they've just come off the road, when there's still hot playing, and I think that helped quite a lot because there's only a couple of months in recording time. So I said, okay, Mick, let's go for it. Yeah.
And how many time takes you to unwind from the tour?
Well, everybody's different in that respect. I think I didn't want to unwind that much because I knew that we were going to start recording, so I wanted to keep the wind.
Keep going.
Yeah. Ci entra la linea.
And well, it's like a dream team of collaborations as well. How did you get to Andrew Watt?
Another one of those coincidences, if you like. Mick said, well, let's find a guy this time that can drive, you know, because this is like a project. You know. Suddenly Andrew turned up. You know, there was, I mean, I have no idea. I mean, people know when we're recording, and he was the right guy for this gig, you know, which was to say, we deliberately said we want to push, energy, and not let things start, because we record all the time, and beautiful stuff is in the can. But this was sort of a project of saying, let's see if we can do this. And so really, I'm quite amazed. But we did it, and here we are, you know.
And did you plan to bring on Elton and Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder, or were it just...
None of that was planned. It was, I mean, all of this is natural stuff. They just happened to be there when, while we were recording, and Kate dropped in and said, well, you want to play, you know, you want to do... So it was a very spontaneous thing, which is the other thing. I would hate anybody to get the idea that we just sort of made a record with and bringing in a lot of other stars. The stars dropped in, and, you know, so we felt that, okay, you know, but it wasn't planned to that way, you know. And it was, we recorded in LA, and a lot of people are in LA, you know? So that was, there it is, really, you know.
How difficult was the decision to keep going with a new album after Charlie's passing?
Well, kind of difficult, but see, Charlie Watts had always said, you know, if I'm not there, Steve Jordan is your man, you know. And so in a way, I mean, we were blessed that we have Charlie Watts' recommendation. I've known, you know, expensive wine also, another story, but. Steve and I have been working together for 30 odd years or more. Also, he knows everybody else in the band. He's been a great friend for years. So it wasn't that difficult to Steve to step in.
but maybe the balance, I mean, between he brings new energy, but as well, it's trying not to
I think one of the reasons we made this record too was to see and find out about what would happen if we made a record and recording with Steve. Because Steve on the road, we've done 2 tours and we're hot, and Jordan's a piece of work, man. I mean, he has Charlie in his heart, so when we play, he knows exactly what to do and how to do it.
And I think it must be as well a process for him to trying to adjust and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, you'd probably have to talk to Steve about that, all of that, but I know the man pretty well, and he said, well, I'm ready for it, but I know I've been waiting for this all my life. But then that means, Charlie has to go, and I was, oh no, and so it was one of those things, but a lot of guys thought that Ronnie Wood's another one. He knew that he was going to one time later be in the Rolling Stones, and this was like 30, 40 years ago. In a way, everything's fulfilling their prophecies, and at the same time, it's a great band. I mean, I love playing with Steve. I love what's coming out, and here it is.
And there's the song "Live by the Sword," which was recorded with Charlie and Bill Wyman as well. So
yeah.
It was like the original rhythm sections of the Stones together again. So how special was that?
It's very special. It's the last time those 2 guys played together. The only thing for me is that I was not at that session. I'm overdubbed later. How could you resist? I mean, Bill Wyman's a piece of work, man. You never know when he might just suddenly appear out of the woodwork. But I know it was a great track. And also, I mean, it's about it's the last one of Charlie, with this tough shit.
I mean, I think everybody's been through loss and grieving. How did you deal with loss and grieving?
Very difficult. I'm still dealing with it. It's not something you just sort of deal with like that. Because Charlie was just such a special man, and Charlie and I would have like our own inner jokes, rhythm section jokes, which I will always miss. But at the same time, to me, I sometimes talk to Charlie, It's like I sometimes talk to my dad, and sometimes I talk to Ian Stewart, who started the band, and they just come to mind and I have a conversation. Or I imagined, whatever it takes. Okay, sign up. But always in the heart and always in the mind.
I'll be a Rolling Stone.
The album closes with "Rolling Stone" by Muddy Waters. This version, which I understand was the song that gave the Stones the name.
The reason we are called the Rolling Stones because. We had the 63. We were making a phone call, and we are playing, and we wanted to place an advert. We're gonna be playing at this so and so place, and they said, oh yeah, and what's the name of the band? And we hadn't got one, But on the floor was a Muddy Waters album, and the first track is Rolling Stone Blues. The Rolling Stones! And that's how it came about. And so Andrew thought that would be a nice tie-up. And we'd never played that song, and I had enjoyed it. You give Mick that harp, man, and he is Muddy Waters, he's uncanny.
Also, I want to ask you, you've been here for 6 decades, being present from vinyls to cassettes to CDs to MP3s to music platforms and all that stuff. So what would you say has been the most powerful change in music in this period?
There's a long way I could go there. I would like to express that this record was actually made with vinyl in mind to start with. This is made for vinyl. To me, still the best form of reproduced sound that you can get. I'm not a big fan of digital. I'm not a big fan of synthesizers. You know, but I understand that this is junk music. You know, I mean, for me, to make a good vinyl record is to hit the top of it. If you want the best sound, then it's vinyl. You know, it's as simple as that.
Also, I want to ask about your grandfather. I understand that he was a musician as well in the 20s, 30s, and thanks to him, you got your first guitar.
My grandfather, yes, he didn't give it to me. I stole it. No, basically, no, it's not true. I sort of took it over, you know, because he had a guitar. He was a violin player, but he had a guitar, and he just wanted to turn me onto music, no matter what instrument it was. So in a way, I sort of go around to Grandpa's house and just sort of take the guitar, and he would say, "Yeah, that's good. Yeah, but yeah, it runs in the family.
Rock and roll came to England in 1953, 54. You were like 10, 11 years old.
Yeah. And so he was a swing musician. He loves, you know, which is rock and roll is connected. It didn't come out of nowhere, you know, and it's connected to jazz and swing and all kinds of others, you know, blues.
How was your first approach to rock and roll?
You follow the process, and to me, growing up at my age, rock and roll was the complete expression of energy, of freshness. And of course, I mean, rock and roll can be very banal, and it can be rock and roll is elusive. You'll never be able to put your hands quite on it, you know. Rock music is fairly obvious, you know, it's going to bump, 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 bump. But rock and roll has a slight curve on it, you know, and you have to be there to get it. And that's all I can say. I cannot explain music. It's if you could put music into words, you wouldn't need music.
Don't get angry with me.
The album we can enjoy these powerful riffs on, I mean, angry, cut my head off, whole wide world, but as well there's another song, Tell Me Straight, that you wrote and
Tell
you
Me
sang.
Straight.
Yeah. Can you share us about the story behind that song?
It was a song that had been hanging around up here and down here that I hadn't completed, and it was a half idea, you know. And while we were playing it, I think Matt Clifford, who's playing with us, have you checked it? And I had forgotten about this thing. But suddenly we played it within a few takes, and I said, I've got it, I understand. So we did it. I knew it was good when Mick tried to steal it from me. I said, no way, pal.
This is mine.
No, that one's mine, you know.
You're 79 years old. I want to ask you, what keeps you going?
Well, you want the full ingredients. No, I don't know. It's you either is or you ain't. I've never thought about it. I mean, I just wake up in the morning, and if I don't, I don't. But otherwise, I have no particular problems. I don't feel my age. In numbers, which is a miracle, let's face it. You just keep going, you know. I mean, I love what I do. I mean, why shouldn't I? I mean, things could be worse, right? You know, I mean, I love everybody out there for loving what I do now and again, and it's miracle. It's a miracle, you know.
Any plan for touring? I mean, we haven't seen you in Mexico.
Doubt, yeah. The next year we'd probably take this thing on the road. You know,
maybe Mexico, South America.
I'm not ruling anywhere out. I love Mexico City, man. I love playing there. You know, you guys, chinga.
That's great. Well, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah,
congratulations on a great album.
Pleasure.
It's a pleasure to talk with you.